Ready. Excellent. Well played. Very good. Have you been working on that quite a bit in the last couple of weeks? Like, yeah, because I heard your audition and it seems like you've really polished it even more since then. Beautiful work. So great. Um, well, so do you know what a cakewalk is? I mean, what kind of dance that is? It's so it's kind of it's very humorous. In a cakewalk, people it's like a dance contest, and the couple that gets chosen at the end um, wins a cake. You know, but the kind of dancing is very exaggerated, and lots of kicks and strutting, and just it's all supposed to be funny, right? And I think in the slower part, you could really show that a little bit more, kind of exaggerate how different that part is from the beginning. So let's see. So, I mean, the first part is just really like hopping around a lot. But then you have this part. I'm almost picturing that in the first part they're jumping and kicking, but then when they get to that part, they're like cheek to cheek. It's like really just mushy, kind of romantic, and just in an exaggerated way, kind of making fun of it. So when you get to that part, let's try that part. Very lyrical, very warm, and much more relaxed, I think, than the beginning. Even if it's the same tempo. Well, let's see. So he has this retard in measure 17, and it never actually says a tempo. Hard to say whether we want to play this. Maybe we don't want to play it any slower than the beginning, but a feeling of much more relaxed there. So why don't you start at this part? Play that part for us and then go into the next section. Okay, so how can we make that sound more relaxed? Well, first of all, you can pedal it a little bit more so that you're not playing staccato on the chords. We don't want that. You make it very smooth to sound almost a little bit slower, no accents in that part. Try that. Right, very good. I like that better. And then when you have the that part, don't accent every note, da dee da dee da, but ya dee ya dee. Make it really smooth. No bar lines there. Ya dee ya dee ya dee. Try that. Could you add a little pedal to that? Let's see what that would sound like. Maybe don't add the pedal until after the A. So start on the B flat. Yeah, just to give it a smoothness. And then this is kind of a funny chord, isn't it? That's funny. So anything that we can find in this piece that's funny, we want to exaggerate it, right? Because that was kind of what the cakewalk was all about, making fun, poking fun. So you might start really softly here. Something like that, and just poke fun at it. Another thing that is kind of, I think, humorous in the piece is at the beginning when the left hand first comes in. So it starts off with no left hand, and then the left hand suddenly comes in. That's to me, that's almost like somebody laughing. All of that, you know. So you might show in order to bring that out without having it be too heavy, you might just like show the ups and downs, like that. Could you try that at the beginning? Yeah, so don't make the left hand all the same. Make it go, show it when it goes up and when it goes down. Well, sometimes it's hard to hear over Zoom, but I would really like to hear. Do just that by yourself, by itself, and swell to the middle. Make it get louder and softer. No, the very first measure of the left. Oh, you need to take your music out. Take your music out so you can see. Yeah, good. So those chromatic notes are funny, right? Because it starts out, it's totally vanilla, C major. Right? And then all of a sudden we have ha 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 ha, ha underneath, It's like laughter underneath. So, all right. Any other spots in this? Yeah, and another way to make it fun is to enjoy the accents. So when you have like and you're already starting to do this, but like taper those two note slurs so that the accented note is much louder than the second note. Where do we have that? So measure 52. down a little bit, and let's try exaggerating those X's. Do it slowly once. Aha, okay. So there are slurs there. You want to let go of that second note, right? So play it slowly again and notice those where you have to release those notes. Excellent. Now add the accents and you'll really have a nice dancey feel, all right? Add the accents to that. Okay, but make those second notes softer. Dee-da, da-dee, da, dee-da, da-dee. Okay, one more time. All right, and I think you can add pedal to the last note. Yeah, well, it does have a staccato on it, doesn't it? But it's also a quarter. So I think just a little touch of pedal. Just a little touch of pedal there. Do that the very end there. Left hand up and up. Yeah, can you pedal just a little bit more on that last note? Yeah, I like that better. Good. So yes, the two note slurs give it a character, the accents give it a character, and then the contrast between the first part and the more that cheek to cheek part that's very romantic. If you can get those exaggerated different characters, it'll be very, very convincing. So wonderful, Kaden. Thank you so much. All right, we are ready to move on. So we have Nicholas playing Dr. Gratis ad Parnassum.
Hold on just 1 minute. I'll be back really quickly.
Okay, sure. Oh, bravo. Very good. Okay, Nicholas. Wonderful work you've done on that. Really great. So my impression is that it could be just a little bit more French sounding. So, in this piece, he's making fun of the kind of dry exercises. So, do you know who Dr. Gratis is? So, Gradus ad Parnassum was a set of exercises, a large set of exercises that was created by this earlier composer named Clementi. There was also a set by, I think, Czerny also. But Gradus ad Parnassum is like steps to Parnassum, steps to Parnassus, which was like this mountaintop where the muses were. So it's like, in other words, it was technical exercises, but this is much more than technical exercises, right? This is a French, more French impressionistic piece, and I think Debussy's he's making fun of those exercises, and one way he makes fun of them is by kind of breaking all the rules, breaking the harmonic rules, and doing whatever he wants, in the piece. And he makes much more of a beautiful piece out of it than just an exercise, right? So, what's one? Do you know anything about French music? Have you heard other Debussy pieces? Other pieces?
Yeah, a few.
So, what's one feature of French music that you could identify? What's one thing that you know about it? What does it sound like? You know? Like if somebody said to you, what does Debussy sound like? I don't mean to put you on the spot or anything.
I don't know.
So, when I think of Debussy, one of the things I think of is pedal, and I think you could add some pedal to this. And perhaps also not play it quite so fast. So it says moderately fast at the beginning, not just fast, but moderately fast, right? He also writes at the beginning those French words, sans sécheresse, that means without dryness. In other words, I think you can have some pedal with it. However, I just want to say once again that you've done amazing work with the technique of this. I mean, it's really very brilliant what you were able to do. And now we're just kind of putting the musical icing on the cake. Try the beginning, adding some pedal. And when you get to measure 3, you can pedal on every single quarter so that it doesn't get too blurry, all right? But see what happens. Go a little bit slower. Take the edge off. The other thing is the end is faster, right? Doesn't it say to speed up at the end, accelerate? So you've got to at least leave some room for that as well. Okay, from the beginning. Let's see how French you can make it. Yeah, very good. Now, just as an experiment, let's try it even just slightly slower. Okay, let me try it myself and just see what I'd like to do. So, maybe that's a little bit too slow. A little bit, and listen to all of those colors. Okay. Forget that it's a really fast piece for now, and just kind of relax and have some fun with the colors of the piece. Great. Keep going. Okay, good. Yeah. Um, even this part, experiment, maybe put the pedal halfway down, but keep pedaling even in this part, even though it says staccato. Yes, very good. Very good. Okay, yeah. That place where you just stopped, he writes expressif, expressive. What is it about that part that's expressive? Why do you think he wrote that there?
The melody?
Yeah. Have we had a melody before that? Not really, right? It's all been just sort of moving harmonies and and kind of strange harmonies that don't really belong next to each other, you know. And then suddenly we have this melody that kind of emerges. Um, so, what does that mean? I think that means that we want to save some of the volume for that part. And in other words, start a little softer at measure 22 when the theme comes back. All right? And save some of your forte until the height of the melody. Okay? Yeah. Are you pedaling during that part? Because I think that would be nice. It's a little dry otherwise. I think you can blend that a little bit. Okay, yeah. That was lovely. Can you start here softer? Pianissimo, right? Not too fast, also, because you've got a big acceleration coming up.
Measure 45?
Start at measure 43. Okay, we may have different measure numbers. Start at the where it goes back to the tempo. We have a G in the bass coming up after that. Yes, excellent. And so now that you started a little bit slower, you had a lot of room to accelerate there at the end. Very nice. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Good job. Okay, and we have our last person. Emily is playing Kulau Sonatina in G. Yes, great. Thank you. Great, Emily. So, I think you're doing a wonderful job with this. I'm just looking at the form of the piece. It seems to have an exposition, but no development. But it does have the usual contrast between the first theme and the second theme. We could talk about that. I think you're already doing it somewhat, and we could do even more. So let's play the first theme and the second theme side by side. So play us maybe just the first two lines of the piece, and then skip to the second theme, which is measure 47. Yeah. So how would you describe the difference between those two themes?
I think the first part is a lot more lively than the second theme. The second theme is kind of like
The what?
The second theme is kind of like a waltz.
A waltz? Well, a waltz is usually in three. This is a duple rhythm, but I think I know what you're getting at. How else might you describe the second theme? I mean, one thing that I see is that the first theme is more instrumental, and the second theme would be then more what? What's different from instrumental? So I'm thinking that it's more vocal. It's more of a song, right? Something that you could sing. So when you get, and he writes dolce, so when you get to that really sweet part, what are some things that we can do to make it sound really sweet? I mean, one thing that occurs to me is just to add a little tiny bit of pedal there to make it to accentuate bring out the legato. Of course, you can't pedal too much because you've got some staccatos in the third and fourth measure. And then you can do everything you can to shape the melody so that, for example, the end of the slur is tapered. So let's see what we have here. So I'm thinking really lean into that F sharp and then come away from it. And then we have a little contrast here. Right, see what you can do with that. Try that second theme, add a little pedal, and really think about making it sing. Oh, yeah. So I'm sorry. So don't pedal through the parts that have the rests. Just pedal in the first two measures, and then you can lift off. Okay, very good. When you play dee da da, make sure that that A is softer than the F sharp. And then when you go yum bum 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 bum, taper that as well so that that last D is not accented. So we don't want any accents that shouldn't be there. One more time. Yeah, and these chords, sorry, they can be light, right? In contrast to the singing part, yum bum bum like that. Can you try it one more time? Yes, just these chords, they could be a little bit shorter, I think, shorter and lighter. Right, good. Okay, good. So let's go back to the beginning now that we've talked about the contrast. Play me those first two lines one more time. Yeah, very good. I would just come down a little bit at the end of the. Sorry. Can you taper that a little bit more? Yeah, very good, very good. So what that does is it shows the end of the phrase, but it also shows the contour of the line. Because we don't have a melody really, but we do have the ups and downs of the 16th notes. Okay, good. Keep going. It started, pick up to measure 9. good. Yeah, yeah. So we've had all of these runs, and now we have something different. By the way, I was wondering if we could have you move your camera so we can see the whole keyboard, so we're not seeing the very top. Yeah, thank you. That's great. When we get to this, it's kind of an arrival, isn't it? It's the first place where the 16th notes stop. I think you could add pedal to that chord that you land on the downbeat. Don't make that a short chord. Yes, yeah, okay, good. I'm thinking that we could just lengthen that chord, just like bum, 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 ba, da, dee, da, dee, da, da, and then let it flow. So this time, play that and then keep going, all right? Okay, great. And then let's look at the section that we're in now. So it almost seems like we're in kind of a holding pattern here. Nothing's really happening, right? We're just stopping on G major. So I think you can play it very lightly, right? And so if you're nice and soft there and light, you kind of keep us in suspense, and then let's see what happens after that. So play that and then keep going. Okay, great. Yeah, so in this kind of music, we need to find all the contrast that we can possibly find. And because otherwise it can kind of all blend together, the sections can kind of blend together. So after this, sorry, this is a surprise right here. So those places, it's like suddenly something's going to happen, right? It really alerts you that we're about to change keys, and the momentum is starting to really pick up there. So my point is that when you get to the low point, the really soft part, if you're nice and soft, then that gives you somewhere to go with those unexpected accents and modulations. Okay, now play me the part that goes. Yeah, great. Actually, your Alberti bass sounds really good. It looks a little bit fingery, like, I mean, you can use your arm to duddy 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 to drop on each group of four. That helps me rather than holding your hand still and just using your fingers. Can you try that with your Alberti bass? I just want to see what left hand alone. Yeah, right. Well, that helps me a lot when I play my Alberti bass. Okay. All right, play that section one more time for me. Yeah, in that passage, your hands aren't exactly together. So one way of practicing getting your hands together, because you're doing very different things. That's difficult, isn't it? You're doing different things in both hands. Your left hand is playing groups of 4, and your right hand is doing something completely different, right? So one thing that I do when I'm practicing is I try grouping the right hand, in this case the right hand, in the same kind of groups as the left hand. So just to kind of get the to fool your hands into thinking they're doing the same thing. Can you see my hands a little bit better? Those are different groups than I would practice the right hand in if I was practicing the right hand separately. But, you know, do what you can to get your fingers to, your two hands to sound exactly together, all right? Try that. Just let's see what it sounds like. Right, and you can exaggerate you can exaggerate the dropping of the wrist on each group. Try that one more time. Right. And you can also play it faster, but with longer breaks. So you know, and it'll just give your arms a different feeling, a feeling of being more working together instead of fighting each other. All right. Okay, good. So we already looked at the second theme. We'll play the second theme once more and go all the way to the bottom of that next page. Well, I don't know if we have the same edition. I mean, take it all the way until it goes up to the higher octave, right? Something funny happened with your sound just then. It seemed to like get really fast, and it shouldn't have. Could you try it one more time? It could have been some kind of computer thing. Yeah, so your sound is, there's something happening with your internet, I think. We're having a little bit of trouble, but I can give you a few little pointers. So when you have this, sorry, be sure not to accent, but all right, show the shape of that. And then you can put that down gently. Just ease into each new thing rather than try not to accent the first note of something. All right. Okay. Let's give that another try. One more time. Your second theme. Yes, very nice. Keep going. Very good. Yes, very good. Very good. I think your those two note slurs. Be sure to do the rest. Taper them and make them a little bit shorter. Like kind of like little sighs. You just don't hold your thumb quite so long. Do the right hand. Just do the right hand alone there. Yeah, your bottom note each time could be softer and shorter. Dee-da, dee-da, even though it's a quarter note. That's right. Okay, now add the left hand. Make sure that those chords are nice and soft. Yes, I like that better. Very good. Okay, and just play us the last page. Very nice. Thank you so much. That was terrific, Emily. Good job. Thank you. All right, I think that was everybody. I just want to thank all of you for playing today and just really impressed with the kind of work that you're doing. There's a lot of talent and a lot of hard work in this group of people. Really, it's an honor to work with you. Thank you so much.
Okay, I guess we finished a little bit earlier than our scheduled time. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Everybody played so well. It was so impressive. And the teachers, thank you so much for everything you do and your dedications to your students and keeping on with especially during this challenging time. It's really, really nice to have you all here. And Dr. Price, thank you so much. And I really appreciate being our guest today. Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
thank you so much for your wonderful teaching and your insights, great insights. You gave us so much inspiration today. Yeah. So
Thank you.
maybe we can have a couple minutes to have a Q&A if you have any or comments.
Ruth, can you hear me?
Yes, hi, Laura.
I just wanted to thank you for all the work that you did with my students. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure that they appreciate it also. I just wanted
Thank
to
you,
say
Laura, and thanks for having all your students take the audition, and it's great to have them in the group. Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Anybody?
Thank you, Ruth.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you for all the work you put in
it
for the
was great to
students.
hear your student too. The Mozart was wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, these people are so young and they're so advanced already. It's very impressive. All right. Well, if we don't have any more
Is it
comments,
just you and?
anybody else want to chime in?
Any students? Any questions? Don't be shy. I guess we can end early.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. It was fun to be here. I really feel honored to work with such talented students.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here and have a wonderful rest of the weekend, everybody, and a spring break. Okay? Okay. Bye.
Thank you for the lesson.
You're welcome. Good job.